Okay, good morning all of you. Okay, we have discussed in previous lecture what we have discussed in previous lecture. I think last 2 days back we have given the introduction about the battery management systems. Okay, battery management system, is it clear? So let's see the what is the syllabus in the sixth unit, sixth chapter. Okay, introduction to energy management strategies used in hybrid electric vehicles. Okay, classification of different energy management strategies and comparison of different energy management strategies and implementation issues of energy management strategies. Clear? So total 4 concepts are there. Okay, total 4 topics or 4 concepts are there in the 6th chapter. That is the introduction to energy management systems. That is the introduction to battery management systems. Okay, and classifications. Okay, and comparison of different energy management strategies and implementation issues of energy management strategies. These are the 4 concepts are there. Okay, so already we have seen the introduction to introduction to battery management system. Clear? So also we have seen the block diagram, what are the main parts of the battery management systems. Okay, electronic control unit, and next CAN, control area networks. Okay, SOC, state of charge, SOH, state of health. Okay, and power electronic converter is also part of the battery management systems. So all these things we have seen the in battery management systems. Okay, also we have seen this some typical configuration of battery management systems. Just wait, I will come. Yes, sorry for that. Okay, so we have seen the some typical configuration of the battery management systems. Okay, so what is the role of battery management system? What it will see the parameters. Clear? So all these things we have discussed. Means the battery management system should control the current. Okay, and should also monitor the each cell voltage levels in the battery. Okay, means batteries having the number of cells. Okay, 2 cells or 3 cells or 4 cells. Okay, more than 4 cells, and all these cells are connected in series. Okay, all these cells are connected in series. Clear? All these cells are connected in series. Okay, the battery management system will monitor the voltage of each cell in the battery. Okay, because if one cell is having the high voltage and another cell is having the low voltage, and one cell is sharing the high current and one cell is sharing the low current. So then what will happening? The cell which is sharing the high current during the discharge time, so that will be discharged very fastly, and the cell which is sharing the low current during the discharge time, so that cell will discharge very slowly. So then what will happen? So the cell which is sharing the high current, the cell which is sharing the high current, then what will happen? The temperature will be increased, then that particular cell is going to be damages, then the particular cell is going to be damages, as well as the battery efficiency is also going to be decreased. The battery efficiency is also going to decrease. That's why this is the responsibility of the battery management systems. Okay, this is the responsibility of the battery management systems. It should monitor the voltage levels and current levels of the each cell in the battery. Okay, and each cell should share the equal voltage level and current levels. Okay, equal voltage and current levels. So this is also function, or this is also responsibility of the battery management system. Okay, at the same time, if any high current is receiving by the load, if any high current is receiving by the load, so load means here vehicle, but vehicle ko which component is driving? Motor. Okay, if the motor is taking the heavy current, then what will happening? The temperature will be increases. Okay, if the motor taking the heavy current during the heavy loads or a high load, so the temperature increases. Due to this temperatures also, the losses are going to be increased. The losses are going to be increased. Clear? If the losses are increased, the efficiency is going to be decreased. At the same time, there is a chance, at the same time there is a chance to damage the battery also. Okay, if the high current is increased, battery damage होने के chances है, as well as winding burn होने के भी chances है motor का. That's why whenever the particular value is reached, whenever the current is reached the particular value, so immediately it should be controlled. Okay, this is also a responsibility of the battery management system at the side of battery. Okay, so but motor side control is different and battery management side control is different. Please remember all of you. Okay, so these are the simple configuration of the battery management systems. Already we have discussed this one. Next. Okay, all these things we have discussed. And what are the additional benefits of the what are the additional function of the battery management systems? Okay, the battery management systems should monitor the maximum and minimum voltage levels of the each cell. Okay, the battery battery management system should monitor the maximum and minimum voltage levels in each cell. Next, state of charge, SOC. This is the also responsibility of the battery management system. What will be the charging state? What will be the charging state of the battery? Okay, it is also should be monitored by the battery management system at every point, or at every time, or at each interval, or we can say continuously, or we can say continuously. The battery management system should monitor the state of charge of the battery. Also, it should be monitor the depth of discharge. Okay, depth of discharge. So depth of discharge means, what is meant by depth of discharge? D body. D body means, what is meant by D body? What is meant by D body? Okay, so D body means if battery charging percentage is 100%. Okay, and next, when during the discharge time, it is going to be decrease. It is going to be decrease. Okay, 90%, 80%, 90. Okay, 80, and like this way it is continuously going to decrease. So when it reaches the 10%, okay, 10%, then what we can say? So this is the minimum charging capacity of the battery. So if we are using this battery, when the charging capacity of the battery is less than the 10%. Okay, the charging capacity is less than the charging level is less than the 10%, then what will happening? So we should not use this battery when the charging level is less than the 10%. Okay, so this is the minimum value of the charging level. If we are using the continuously the battery, even though the charging level is less than the 10%, then what will happening? The battery is going to be damages. Okay, whenever it will reach the charging level to 10%, again it should be charged. Again it should be charged. Okay, that's why this 10% is the depth of discharge. We should not use the battery when the charging level is less than the 10%. Okay, this depth of discharge is mentioned by the manufacturer. This depth of discharge is mentioned by the manufacturer, whether it may be 5%, okay, 5% or 10%. It is clear. So whenever we are using the laptop, whenever we are using the laptop, automatically it will give the signals. If the battery charging level is less than the 10%, so automatically it will give the signals. Okay, your battery charging level is low. Okay, that is nothing but depth of discharge. So it means don't use the battery below this value. Clear? So this is also monitored by the battery management systems. Okay, next, state of health. Okay, the battery health, the battery condition. What will be the battery condition? Okay, what will be the lifetime of the battery condition? Okay, this is also should be monitored by the battery management systems. Okay, so state of power. So what will be the power capacity of the what will the maximum power capacity of the battery? Okay, what will be the maximum power density of the battery? What will be the energy density? All these things should be monitored by the battery management systems. Also, it should be monitor the temperature. Also, it should be monitor the temperature also. And state of safety. So safety is also one of the main important parameter. Okay, safety is also one of the main important parameters. Okay, what is the safety of the battery? Always we have to use the battery in safety conditions. Okay, so maximum charge current as a charge current limit. Okay, so during the charging condition, okay, during the charging condition, but sometimes it will flow the high current, sometimes it will flow the low current. So it should not be happen like this. Means the battery will be charged with constant current. Okay, so whatever the, if the manufacturer is mentioned by the 10 amperes, if the manufacturer is mentioned by the 10 amperes maximum current during the charging time, okay, 10 amperes maximum current during the charging time. So if during the charging time, if the maximum current is reached the reach or beyond this value, for example 20 amperes during the charging time, the 20 amperes current is flowing through the battery, then what will happening? So this is the very high value. Okay, this is the very high value. It is greater than the greater than the value which is mentioned by the manufacturer. Okay, this is the whatever the current is flowing through the battery, that current is very high, okay, or greater than the value which is mentioned by the manufacturer. So then what will happen? The battery is going to be damages. So that's why during the charging time, the charging current should not be increased beyond the rated value. Okay, beyond the rated value. So this is also responsibility of the battery management system. Okay, if this value is reaches this beyond, if this value is beyond this value, okay, the charging current beyond this value, rated value, so then what will happen? The battery is going to damages, or the lifetime of the battery is also going to be damages. At the same time, the temperature is also going to be increases. Okay, so temperature is increases means automatically, so battery is going to be damages. Okay, that's why we have to operate the battery in a safe manner. Okay, so that's why during the charging time, the battery will be charged within a the during the charging time, the battery should be charged with a specified uh, charging current, with a specified charging current. And maximum discharge current has a discharge current limit. Maximum discharge current. Maximum discharge current. Maximum discharge current क्या होता है? Same as it is opposite to the charge current during the charging time. Opposite. Next, discharging current means maximum discharging current means, for example, if the manufacturer, okay, if the manufacturer is provided with a 20 amperes is the discharge maximum discharge current, okay, during the discharge period, okay, during the discharge period. So if load is taking the current from the battery, if the load is taking the current from the battery is 20 amperes, then there is no issue. If the load or motor is taking the current beyond this rated value, is taking the current from the battery beyond this value, okay, above this value. So for example, it is taking the 30 amperes current, it is taking the 30 amperes current, then what will happening, the discharge current is cross the rated discharge current, okay. Generally the whatever the current is receiving by the load, that during the discharge time, that current is more than the uh, current the rated current of the discharge during the discharge period, okay. So then what will happening here also, again the temperature is increases, again the battery going to be damages. That's why whatever the manufacturer is mentioned the discharge current, so always the battery should be, always the battery should be operate during below this value, okay, below this value. So if the discharging current is greater than this value, then what will happening, what will happening, so it is going to be damages. Clear? So this is also a responsibility of the battery management system, okay. At the same time, so what will be the maximum energy density, okay, energy deliver kilowatt hour, internal impedance of the cell means what will be the impedance of the cell of the battery, okay, and the charge ampere hour delivered to stored. Sometimes this feature is called as Coulomb counter, total energy delivered since first use. Total energy delivered since first use, what is meant by this point? Total energy delivered, so means, for example, we are using the battery since last 1 month, okay. We are using the battery since last from 1 month, एक महीने से अपन बैटरी यूज करते हैं, ये एक महीने में कितना एनर्जी डिलीवर किया है, ओके, हाउ मच एनर्जी इज डिलीवर्ड बाय द बैटरी since from last 1 month, okay, that is also should be calculated by the battery management system. This is also responsibility of the battery management systems. Total operating time, so means we are using the battery since last from 1 month, so total how many hours we are using, okay, total how many hours we are using the battery, okay. So if we are using the daily 4 hours, if we are using the daily 4 hours, so if we are using the continuous 1 month, 30 into 4 hours, so it means total operating time of the battery is 120 hours, okay. It is also should be monitored by the battery management systems, okay. So the total number of cycles, the total number of cycles how we can calculate, so one एक बार चार्ज होगा डिस्चार्ज होगा तो it will complete the one cycle, okay. Once it is charged and discharged the battery, it will complete the one cycle, okay. So how many times charge and how many times discharge, okay, this will be calculated by the battery management system. It should be calculated by the battery management system. This is also responsibility of the battery management system, okay. All these are the functions of the battery management systems. Clear? All these are the functions of the battery management systems, okay. So all these things we have discussed in the block diagram, but just only we can take the we can design the battery management system in different structures like this diagram and this diagram is same, this one and this one is also same, okay. So also we have seen the previous lectures, okay, what is motor control, what is the function of the motor controller, okay. Next, let's see the classification of the energy management systems, classification of the energy management systems. Generally, the energy management systems have been classified into two types. Okay, generally, the energy management systems have been classified into two types: offline management systems and online management systems. Okay, offline energy management system and online energy management systems. Okay, offline energy management systems are categorized according to the information level of the driving conditions utilized, including the global optimization based on the including the global optimization based on energy management storage systems and rule-based energy management storage systems. Okay, online energy management systems are represented as the instantaneous optimization-based energy management systems, predictive energy management systems, and learning-based energy management systems. Okay, the classification of the energy management systems you can see here in the diagram. Okay, so this is the classification of the energy management systems for hybrid electric vehicles or plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Okay, it has been classified into offline energy management systems and online energy management systems. Okay, again, these offline energy management systems include the global optimization based on energy management systems. Okay, and also it is include the rule-based energy management systems. Okay, also it is based on the rule-based. Also, it is including the rule-based energy management systems. Again, this global optimization based energy management systems include the dynamic programming, statistic dynamic programming, okay, genetic algorithm, game theory, okay, series spectral method, convex optimization, okay, Pointryre minimization principle, PMB. Next, the rule-based energy management system is including deterministic rule-based energy management systems and fuzzy logic-based energy management systems. Clear? So these online management systems are include instantaneous optimization-based energy management systems and predictive energy management systems. Also, it is including the learning-based energy management systems. Okay, so all these are the classification of the energy management systems. Let's see here a few of these we can discuss now. Energy management system classification for this offline energy management systems, two categorizes. Okay, the global optimization based and rule based. The global optimization and rule based energy management strategies. Because the main goal of the global optimization based energy management system is to achieve the global optimal power is to achieve the global optimal power split under a given driving cycle and provide the modified online energy management systems. So what is the meaning of this global, what is the goal of this global optimization based energy management systems? Okay, the main goal of this offline energy management systems or online management systems, so is to save the fuel consumption, So for this fuel consumption, for this saving the fuel consumption, so we are going for the energy management strategies. Okay, so these energy management strategies depends upon the depends upon the energy storage systems. Okay, what are the types of energy storage systems? What are the devices of energy storage systems, which is suitable for the which is suitable for the storing the energy in hybrid electric vehicle and electric vehicle. Okay, which is giving the best efficiency. Okay, all these things should be checked by the global optimization energy management systems. And among them, and which is perfect for the battery electric vehicles as well as battery hybrid electric vehicles. And how and then how much power it can be saved. Okay, how much power it can be consumed by the vehicles by the transportation. Okay, how much environmental, how much we can control the environmental pollution. Okay, whenever we are going for the electric transportation, so obviously we can save the fuel. Obviously we can save the fuel. So civil fuel save करने से क्या होता है? So obviously it will some amount of pollution is going to be decreased in the environmental. Okay, so all these things should be monitored by the global optimization based energy management systems. Okay, they are not directly applicable in real-time control due to their computational complexity and the requirement of priori knowledge of the entire driving cycle. So with this is not global optimization based energy management system is not real-time control. Means what is the meaning of this point? See here. Uh, Okay, so the global optimization based energy management systems, we can they cannot control directly. Okay, they cannot monitor the directly in real time control because still now all the electrical transportation all comes into the not in control area network. ये control area में नहीं है, means how we can say if one company, for example, if X company is there, okay, for example, X company is there, and this is manufacturing the Y products. Okay, this is manufacturing the Y products, and this X company can be monitored how many products have been developed and how many products have been sold into the market. Okay, and they can run the each and every parameters of these products. Okay, they have a directly control network, they have a directly control area network. But here electrical transportation, so but electrical transportation, how many electric vehicles are running the market, how many vehicles are running the pure electric battery based systems, how many vehicles are running pure hybrid electric vehicles, how many vehicles are running with the fuel cell. Okay, how they can calculate it is highly impossible to calculate the, it is highly impossible to calculate the how much energy we are saving, how much fuel we are saving, how much energy we are consuming by the electric vehicles. Okay, so it is not comes into the real time control. That's why what we can say, so they are not directly applicable in the real time control. Okay, so this is also going to be the research is also going to on this to control the to see the real time control. Okay, at a time how much energy we are going to consuming by the electrical transportation, and how much fuel we can save, and how much we can pollution we can control by saving the fuel. So whenever we are going to design the real time control, so all these things parameters we can check. Okay, so but still it directly we are not able to control. Okay, indirectly we are not able to calculate the all these things. Clear? Okay, so however it can be used as a benchmark to adjust the control parameters. Typical methods such as dynamic programming can implement global optimization over giving the driving cycles, but it cannot be directly employed in a real vehicle. So therefore this method can be used to evaluate the performance of the other optimization methods to exert the control rules. So directly we cannot monitor all the parameters, but these methods can be implemented by using such some methods, that is dynamic programming and so on, etc. Okay, so by using all these things, they can monitor the each parameters of the, they can control the parameters of the electrical transportation. So dynamic programming. So dynamic programming. Just wait. Dynamic program as an offline optimization approach, okay, can realize the global optimization solution for a given driving cycle. However, it cannot directly be used in real vehicle energy management systems, because it is impossible to know the future driving conditions, that is speed, road slope, road condition, as well as driving traffic dynamics. So already I have already told one point. So in still now we don't have any technology. We don't have any technology to come to bring the all the electrical transportation, to bring the all the electrical transportation comes into the one network. Okay, to control the parameters such as uh, how many vehicles running by the battery, how many vehicles running by the fuel, how many vehicles are running by the fuel cell. Okay, how many vehicles are running using the hybrid concept. Okay, how much energy it is going to be consumed. Okay, how much electrical energy is going to be consumed, how much fuel it is going to be saved. Okay, so still now we don't have that much of technology to calculate or to control all these parameters. Okay, okay, since the dynamic program is offline optimization approach can relay the global optimization solution for a given driving cycle. So also still now we don't have, also still now we don't have that much of technology to monitor the speed or speed of the vehicle, okay, for particular vehicles, and what will be the road condition of that vehicles. Okay, what will be the traffic conditions of the particular city or particular urban areas. So also still now we don't have that much of technology to monitor all these parameters. Okay, the still is, it is research going on. So that dynamic programming is also suffers from considerable computing time for solving the optimal problem of the backward duration. Okay, dynamic programming also suffers from the considerable computing time for solving the optimal problem of the backward duration of the trip from the future state to find the initial control input. Okay, in a feasible region, especially the computation burden increases as the dimension of the system states rise. However, the benchmarks can be used to determine the operating conditions that yield a globally optimal fuel consumption, which is then further be used to evaluate the performance of other energy management algorithms and extract some rules. So here what we can say here. So whatever we have in the systems right now, so directly we are not able to control. So but using the so, uh, using the some benchmark, so we can calculate the uh, some energy management indirectly. Means directly we are not able to calculate, but indirectly we can able to calculate the how much energy is going to be consumed by the vehicles, electrical transportation, how much fuel can be saved. Okay, so how much fuel is consuming. So all these can be evaluated. Okay, all these things can be evaluated indirectly. Okay, by taking the information from the different manufacturers, from the different manufacturers. Okay, the basic principle of the dynamic programming you can see here. Okay, so the optimal process is formulated as to find the best cost function from A to F. Okay, A, B, okay, C, D, E, F. This is the A and the F. The best the optimal process is formulated as to find the best cost function from A to F. Firstly, the feasible region is described, okay, discretized and cost into the grid to the calculated all the possible paths from A to F. Then starting from F and proceeding backwards, the best path is computed from F to E at time t. Clear? Similarly, the global optimization solution is calculated step by step, starting from E and at an ending at initial state. The shortest path is A, B, J, H, E, F, and the minimum cost is okay. So, what is the meaning of this global optimization process? What is the meaning of this global optimization process? So, we don't have direct control technology, okay, to consume the to calculate the power. But we have a shortage. we have some techniques, we have some programming techniques. By using these programming techniques, we can calculate this uh, energy consumption, what will be the short, that's what are the different probabilities are there to calculate all these things. Okay, among them, again, identify them, among them, identify which is the shortest path, which is the shortest path to identify that uh, how much energy is consumed by the electrical transportation. Okay, so from this, what they have given the shortest path from A to F is A, B, and J, H, E, F. Okay, this is the shortest path and minimum cost is obtained. Okay, so start, see here once again, I'm little bit confused in this part. The basic principle of the dynamic programming is illustrated. Okay, the optimal process is formulated as to find the best cost function from S to F. Okay, the optimal process means if we are to find the in order to calculate the sum cost. Okay, so we have some different techniques. If we are having the some different techniques, and we are having some different probabilities, among them we have to identify uh, which is the shortest path. Okay, to identify the, to determine the cost of that one. So identify that shortest path and mention that one. So from this diagram, the different probabilities are there: A, B, C, D, and E, F, A, P, Q, R, M, F. Okay, A, K, J, H, G, F. Also, we can calculate A, B, P, Q, R, M, F. Means different probabilities are there. Okay, to estimate the cost. So, but among them, so which is the shortest path? So A, B, okay, J, H, E, F. So here the red color indicate the from all these different probabilities. So they have identified this is the shortest path to calculate the minimum, where the we are getting the minimum, where we can obtain the minimum cost. Okay. Next, stochastic dynamic programming. Stochastic dynamic programming. So although statistic dynamic programming is regarded as a useful tool to obtain a global optimization solution, it is impossible to know exactly the whole driving cycle conditions. Okay, so already we have discussed this point also. It is very highly impossible to check the whole driving cycles conditions. Okay, this driving cycle condition is depends upon the speed of the vehicle. Okay, road condition of the vehicle. Clear? Okay, so in urban areas, in cities, we can obtain the one driving cycle. In the case of highways, we can obtain the one different driving cycle. Okay, so to address this issue, stochastic dynamic programming is proposed by the researchers. Okay, so that's why what we can say is still now we don't have exactly technology, we don't have correct technology to identify the whole driving cycle conditions. Okay, but the researchers as proposed by the researchers has been proposed by this stochastic dynamic programming. Okay, this basic principle of the stochastic dynamic programming is that assuming that the sequence of the values can be modeled using Markov chain power, the state transition matrix map of the future driver's power demand is generated to estimate the driver power demand. Okay, the power sequence demand is calculated by discretizing the historical driving data at a certain step, and the determination of the current power demand is made in terms of the vehicular speed. So what we can say here, so the researchers have been have been proposed. Okay, this is the one of the technique, stochastic dynamic programming, to identify the driving cycles of the electrical transportation. Okay, to identify the driving cycles, okay, of the electric vehicles. Clear? So the researchers mainly focus on minimizing the fuel consumption by using the SDP. So by identifying the driving cycles, so means driving cycle क्यों identify करना अपन को. So in order to estimate the how much energy is consumed by the vehicle, okay, how much fuel is consumed by the vehicle, how much pollution it will be introduced into the atmosphere, okay, how much pollution is it going to be controlled, or how much pollution is going to be increased in the pollution. So for all these, estimating all these parameters, so the researchers have been proposed the stochastic dynamic programming. So the main aim or the main goal of this stochastic dynamic programming is to minimize the fuel consumption, is to minimizing the fuel consumption. Okay. Genetic algorithm. The genetic algorithm is evolutionary computing has become one of the most popular algorithms among the modern optimization algorithms due to its good global research performance and low algorithm complexity. As a random search method, the genetic algorithm is performed by the global searching to converge an optimal solution based on the law of biological evaluation. These advantages are well suited to optimizing the rules, parameters, or evaluation criteria in energy management systems for better performance. Okay, the optimization problem is solved by the simulating biological uh, phenomena such as genetic variations, okay, can be applied in energy management strategies to obtain global optimal solutions. However, the computational load is heavy, especially for more variables due to the repeated searches, and can be regarded as an offline optimization method, which guides researchers to select the optimal parameters, example, engine size and battery size for an hybrid electric vehicle. Okay, so so means what we can say here, genetic algorithm is the researchers have been proposed some technique. The technique can be also called as genetic algorithm. So by using this method, or by using this process, or by using this genetic algorithm technology, okay, so it is very easy to select the some optimal parameters, or to select the some optimal components, okay, for hybrid electric vehicles or electric vehicles. Okay, in order to select the which engine we have to go to select in hybrid electric vehicle, which motor we have to select in a hybrid electric vehicle, okay, what will be the battery size, okay, what will be the battery capacity, which battery is suitable for the hybrid electric vehicle, which battery is suitable for the electric vehicles. Okay, so uh, things all these things we can easily identify by using the genetic algorithm techniques. So okay, here they have given us some algorithm. Okay, initial population, calculate the fitness value according to the fitness function, chromosome encoding, select crossover variation, obtain the new population in ending criteria and end. So initial population, select an initial population in feasible solution domain. Okay, and genetic operation, a new population is generated by the selection, crossover, and variation of the initial population to convert to the global optimal solution. Okay, decide the if population meets the ending criteria. Okay, referring to the iterations of the intelligent optimal algorithm. So I will explain this genetic algorithm later. Just I will take the attendance. Madam is going to conduct the practicals.